Hello, and welcome to my kitchen, otherwise known as Coravos Breadworks. And if you're watching this video, odds are you've already enjoyed a delicious, artisanal quality Coravos Breadworks bread. Or maybe you're about to enjoy one right now. In either case, I thought I'd shoot a little video and show everybody just a little bit about what goes into each and every one of my delicious breads. Before we get into the rest of the ingredients, I thought I'd showcase my indoor grown rosemary plant. Now, those of you who know me know that I know a little something about growing plants that produce essential oils. So we're going to chop a branch right off of this bad Larry and bring it right into the kitchen and get right to work on our bread. Well, what do we have here? It's just a lovely assortment of meticulously and carefully prepared ingredients. I've hand sifted the high quality flour. I've hand trimmed the fresh grown rosemary. I've shredded the Asiago cheese, and I've cultured and grown my own yeast. Now, all bread is essentially four main ingredients, okay? Yeast, flour, water, and debatably salt. Now, depending on how you vary those four ingredients, you get everything from croissant to pita bread. Plus, people can also add other things, and in this instance, we'll be adding some delicious Asiago cheese. But basically, this yeast I've caught directly out of the air here in New England and cultured it. That takes some doing, but if you can do it, that's basically how bread has been grown since the beginning of time. You couldn't always just go to the supermarket and be like, yes, I'd like a package of high-intensity yeast, please, or high-active yeast. People had to grow their own yeast, which obviously occurred naturally at first, and then people figured out that it was a key ingredient, and away you go. And depending on where the yeast grows, it actually affects the taste of the bread, just like the water. So San Francisco sourdough is really well known for its taste because the yeast that grows native to the San Francisco region of California has a very specific taste to it when you make bread with it. So this is New England yeast, and I guess it's essentially sourdough. But what I do is I use it to make different types of breads, and it doesn't actually taste that sour when I make it with the cheese and different salts and things like that. For our flour, I like a good Hodgson mill. This is a rye bag, but in here I've got the white flour that I ground, sifted out for everybody, as well as King Arthur flour. King Arthur is like a B+ quality flour in my opinion. Hodgson mill is more of like an A-. I think there's some nicer flours out there. Now, in a zombie apocalypse, could I grow my own wheat and mill it? You bet your boots I could, and I would. I would set up shop. I would build a grinding stone in a mill, and I would be the best bread baker in a post-apocalyptic world this side of the Mississippi. That being said, I also like a little brown sugar. Mick Jagger said it best. Brown sugar, how come you taste so good? Anyway, we are going to get right to work, add all these into the mixer, and turn it into a delicious bread for everybody to enjoy. Alright, that's the finished dough product, and it's sitting on the mat, and I like this mat because it has the markings on it for measurement, and you can kind of see how much your dough has actually expanded or risen over time, which is exactly what we're doing right now. We're waiting for this dough to rise. So I like to use a nice bowl, a ceramic bowl, and I like to coat it with olive oil, or what I've used here is actually coconut oil spray. I like a little coconut oil instead of olive oil sometimes, but I'll stick this bowl right on top, and in the next 2-3 hours that dough is going to fill up the entire size of that bowl theoretically, and we'll come back and check on that and see if it's a success. Alright, as you can see with the measurement indicator on the bottom, the dough has doubled or tripled in size, and it is definitely ready to go in the oven. It's been about 3 hours, and I'm going to take a knife and put a couple of slits across the top, let the steam out, and put this baby in the oven, and it should come out terrific. Whew, hot oven everybody. Now you see here what I've got is a pizza stone or a baking stone on the top oven rack, and that's where the bread's going to go. That's a really important tool. That really evenly distributes the heat It absorbs the heat from the oven and evenly distributes it onto the cooking surface. And underneath that I've got a little Pyrex container, glass dish full of water, and during the cooking process that releases moisture, which is essential for a nice crispy crust. And if you get a nice crispy crust on the outside first, it'll keep a nice moist dough on the inside. And so that's a double whammy right there for everybody. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the finished product. Asiago cheese rosemary focaccia bread. Oh, eureka! God, that's nice. Now what you can do is slice this nice and thin and toast it with butter, or you can chop it up into chunks and dip it into olive oil and enjoy it any way you like. Hope you liked the video, and I hope you enjoy your bread.